So good morning and welcome to the Arizona Commerce Authority's Small Business Bootcamp for this February 13th session. My name is Faith Ritchie. I'm the Senior Small Business Program Manager, filling in for usual host Robert Theobald. Now, if you are new to the Small Business Bootcamp, we always like to start these sessions by giving thanks and acknowledgement to our many community partners who, without their time, effort, and expertise, we would not be able to provide the many sessions and free education resources that we have been able to provide through the boot camp. So a huge thank you to, again, those many community partners. The Small Business Boot Camp is a free educational resource to help assist entrepreneurs throughout the state. So whether you are looking to start, grow, or scale, there are resources available for you. Looking to prepare, plan, and grow your business, the Small Business Bootcamp is a weekly webinar series designed to empower you with those educational resources to prepare, plan, and grow. Additionally to those live Tuesday sessions like today, we do include those recordings and resources as part of our content library. So if you have missed a session, if you're looking to discover a new topic or dive deeper into a topic, we encourage you to visit our content library on our website. And again, as always, these links will be available in the chat for you to discover. And you can learn more about these topics. Again, all of these recordings are free, and you can review those recordings and these slide decks available. We have well over 300 recorded sessions, all from Arizona experts. And again, we encourage you to look these over and see how they can benefit your business. Now, of course, the content library is not only available as part of the Arizona Commerce Authority, there are additional programs that your business can benefit from as a participant of the Arizona Commerce Authority. Other programs include those that are listed on your screen and others. So we encourage you to visit the Arizona Commerce Authority's website /programs to learn more on how you can learn and include these programs as part of your business strategy. One of these programs that our small business services provide is our small business checklist. The small business checklist is an online and interactive guide to help starting, operating, and growing your business by answering all of those licensing and permitting questions for local, state, and federal levels. So if you're looking to start or grow your business in Arizona, the Small Business Checklist is a great resource for you to identify on our website. You can use this QR code here on your screen, or of course, the link in your chat to get started in that journey. Of course, Arizona is an interesting state, so you can really specify your needs of your business by using this checklist as it is termed to your geographical location, and it will give you that contact information as it's relevant to your city and county, again, to that local, state, and federal level. Here's a look at our upcoming sessions. Again, every Tuesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more on how you can make some wonderful strides in your business. We have some fantastic sessions coming up, and I encourage you, if you're unable to join us, again, that content library is a great resource for you. But how to avoid the top 10 legal mistakes that can destroy your business. This is a great session that we have with our friends from Will & Sneller coming up for February 20th. On February 27th, Unleashing Creativity with Generative AI, and at March 5th, Understanding Inbound Marketing. Bring value to your digital marketing. We continue these sessions. We encourage you, again, check our website. We have those listed throughout March. So don't hesitate, go ahead and register for those, get those on your calendar so you don't miss these upcoming sessions. But of course, why we are here today, apologies, why we are here today, Dr. Donna Hoover Oneida, founder and CEO of Mighty Underdog. She has joined us in the past, but we are so excited every time she comes to join us because we are always blessed to hear about your growth formula. And for today's specific topic, getting from vision to execution. And so we're very excited to hear about her strategies and insights to assist you to get from vision to execution. So without further ado, let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen and turn the time over to Dr. Hoover.
Thank you, Faith. I appreciate it. Let me do the switch to screen share and get started. And as Faith had mentioned to Veronica, that any questions can be put at any time in the chat box. And I think Faith said that she'll get to me whenever you have a question. You don't have to hold it or wait to the end. Because I'm hoping this presentation or this talk will stimulate thought, and our thoughts are a lot of times random. So just bring it on whenever it pops in front of you. So when the Arizona Commerce Authority asked me for the boot camp, helping people get their vision to execution is different than a business plan. The space that I operate in is the plan and growth piece of the boot camp. A lot of people are in the startup space, but I picked the plan and grow. And so how do you get your vision to execution? And that's pretty much what you spend your whole work journey doing is revising, identifying, clarifying on a regular basis what the vision is so that we can execute. So I took this time to take a look at building the business doesn't have to be so complicated. So I've tried to simplify it. So I've gone step by step of what building your vision to execution looks like and the pieces that need to be done. I've simplified it so it looks simple, but it's not easy to do. And through the online classes that the boot camp offers you, each of those classes are to help you with the pieces of getting your vision to execution. Because you run into problems, you run into issues all along the way, and sometimes you just need more information on how to strategize and how to succeed. So today is a how-to step-by-step of getting your vision to execution. So there's 3 barriers to success that we find, and it's the key points today. So leadership, systems and structure, and market dynamics. And we'll talk about how to overcome those. Tools are helpful. Ours is a roadmap that you can use. There are many, many roadmaps out there to get you through different phases of your vision to execution. This one is your overall growth formula. And growth formula, I picked that name because it's how you grow. And every company is different. We can use the same template, but your company is really, they talk about company culture. It's really the flavor of the owner and the people that are in it. So no 2 ways to go to business are going to be executed the same. So this is around what does yours look like? And what is it that you're really doing? What is your vision? How clear is your vision? And explaining it to other people. So what the role of the leader is to build and maintain a team. And we all know how difficult it is to have a good team and a consistent team and one that works together. That's a job all by itself, is keeping that team together, keeping them motivated, excited, and working together. And then the organizational clarity, create the organization clarity, whose roles, who's doing what, when, and how, and the results that you expect. Okay. And then you over communicate, clarity, it gets muddy every day. The mud creeps in of what is it that we're doing and where are we going and who are we doing it with. So your job as the leader is to communicate that clarity over and over and over and keep people focused on your number one thing that you're doing and your 2 and 3. Reinforce the clarity through human systems. Human systems, AI is a tool, but you need the human systems to operate the AI effectively. So you won't see AI in this, and your roadmap, you won't be able to use AI to complete your roadmap either. You can use it for pieces of it and portions of it. AI to give you information quickly and synthesize it quickly so that you can make decisions and continue to move. The human systems are what moves the AI information. Okay, so your job as the leader is to cohesive team, who's doing what are the roles, communicate the clarity on a regular basis, and put the human systems together of who's working where. I pulled out a quote from one of my companies that I work with in our roundtables, and this is what he had said, because I thought it had value to you. I thought I knew everything. Many business owners think they do, right? So I thought I knew everything. I took all the classes, I had mentors, I had coaches, but it still wasn't working. It dawned on me that what I was thinking and what I was really doing were different. I needed to change my thinking on how I was doing my business that really made the difference. So I wanted to share that with you because I do have, people have taken the classes, they do have the coaches, they have read all the books, but it's still not working. So why isn't it working? And what are you missing? And that's where this tool helps you look at what you're missing. It's why it's simple, but it's difficult to do. So many companies first create the vision and then more importantly, translating that. That's where people get stuck. I think it's on the next sheet. Yep, I showed you where people get stuck. It all starts with the vision. Yep, I got a vision. My marketing team helped me get that, or my marketing person helped me get my vision together. Okay, good. And then you take that vision and make a specific plan and process to execute the vision. People get stuck in translating that vision into action plans to make the vision happen. And then once they get that cleared up, that they have specific plan and processes, then they get stuck again when the best way to execute a strategic plan is in 45 days and 90-day time slots. We don't always follow up. Sometimes I see it weekly, I see it daily, I see it monthly, quarterly. Pick a consistent roadmap, and it's 45 days. In today's time, things are moving very, very fast. So every 45 days, you should be checking your map of where you're going and is clarity still in place? People get lost and distracted very quickly. So it's keeping the clarity in front of people. Signs, billboard, or boards in your office. What am I thinking? Yeah, signs, maps, charts, graphs, pictures of a vision board helps keep the vision in front of you. And we'll move on to the next piece. That the growth formula does is it provides a foundation for your company. And that's a lot of times, again, where people get stuck is in that beginning part. That's why this is not for startups. This is for, planning your business, growing your business, and developing your business, enhancing, enriching, having a greater, deeper foundation to your company so you don't topple over when a disaster happens and you're still strong and can take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you. So when we look at the roadmap and the growth formula, it's how is your foundation built? And what that means is, why do you do what you do? The principles that support the other parts of your business, and what do you stand for as an organization? Where you're going today and in the future, and it helps you determine how you're going to get where you want to be. And again, we get distracted every day, and so this picture, those questions, to be asked quite regularly to see, are we still on track? Are we still going where we want to go, or where we thought we were going to go? And I think many of you have probably noticed, when you started your business and where you are today is a different place than you were when you started. Sometimes doing a different product, sometimes a different service, different location is different than what you thought it was going to be. So this is what the growth formula looks like. And the Faith has it for you. It's available for a free download. It's also on our website. So you have this as your tool and your map. This is the front side, and there is a back side. So remember, this is your foundation. This is like looking at your whole United States map in one place and say, where are we going and what are we doing? And who are we doing it with? So I'll explain each of the pieces briefly, because you can, with it being recorded, you can go back, you can stop the video at any time and work on each section, fill something out, and then you'll be able to look at it as a whole piece, as a whole map all together, different than a business plan. And you'll see it's intended to find the gaps in our thinking, because we have them. Our brain plays tricks on us. It hides things that it doesn't want us to see, or that are too difficult. Our brain will hide things that are too difficult, and we procrastinate. So when you have it all on here, you can see what you're missing. And sometimes you need some extra learning. Again, the boot camp fills in those gaps of what are you missing in your thinking. Okay. So the value of values, most people do their marketing and they have a marketing person helping you. So I don't spend a lot of time on values, but the purpose of values is a guideline for your behavior, moments of truth and decision making, customer selection, because not all customers are good customers. As you grow and fine tune and get clarity on what it is you're actually selling and what people are actually buying, many times are different. And so you pick different customers. When we get started, and many times throughout our business growth, we pick customers because they're willing to pay us and we could use the cash. But picking customers that can actually help you grow and advance is a challenge, and the customer would be a challenge. So sometimes we shy away from that. But we have customer selection is there, hiring. So it costs money to make bad hires, performance appraisals, and appraisals being expectations, and we should do those monthly. I know some big corporations do them quarterly, but I think nowadays it's really, you have enough information, enough data, enough metrics that you can give feedback on a monthly basis and help the person grow and develop. Big, hairy, audacious goal. Oh, I purposely missed the mission and purpose that's on the form. But mission and purpose, again, because everybody says that they have their mission taken care of. So, okay, I just put it down there in the corner and it's a holding spot, because it'll come back to you later if your mission is not clear and it's not true. So remember that part. Your mission has to have truth in it. This document and the roadmap is not something that you share with the world. This is something that you and your partners or your team members work on it together. It's kind of some call it a playbook or a Bible that you operate from, and what you believe in and where you're going and what you're doing. It's not to be shared with the outside world, unless you have advisors or mentors or something, but it's really a good roadmap for you personally, because you are showing up things that you don't know or you don't have, and you will be making changes. So it's the big, hairy, audacious goal is a vision that is bigger than yourself. It needs to be big enough that allows other people to participate and allows other people to enter and grow, help you grow your company. Okay, and typically it's a revenue goal because that's what we use in our society is revenue goals. And it doesn't have to be realistic. It's realistic, very big, hairy, audacious goal is something that you feel and you get the vision periodically. It's not realistic because we only know what we know today. So sometimes the vision has pictures in it that we don't know what it is because we haven't seen it before. Or it's kind of like a competitor, or it's kind of like something else, in a different industry. So there's different ways to get that big, hairy, audacious goal identified. So it doesn't have to be realistic. It will become real one day. And how far out, people do ask that, what big, hairy, audacious goal, how far out does that go? And it's today's time, it can be anywhere from 5 to 10 years. And the envisioned future is another important piece. The envisioned is really putting the senses to it. What does it look like to you? What does it smell like? It doesn't have metrics in it. It has more, do you see multiple locations? Do you see it a global company, a global presence? Do you see that you're working in all sectors of the industries? Do you see that it's an online business? What is it that you're seeing and try to describe? How many people do you see? Do you see armies of people, or do you just see a couple individuals? So it's helping you get that clarity on what the goal really is for you in that vision. Okay. This next piece is called from Jim Collins' book. And he talks about hedgehogs. Hedgehog is just an animal that doesn't do anything except poop and procreate. That's it. It crawls up in a ball when an enemy comes around it and pushes the enemy away. So it looks like a rock. It doesn't move at all. It stays steadfast. Why he uses hedgehog, he's using it as those words that I just gave you. What is your hedgehog? What is your foundation piece? And how that comes up, it's something that you will never let go and you will never give away. So it's what are you passionate about is usually where it comes from. And what can you be the best at? Is where you take some of those assessments that identify how are you hardwired? What is your Myers-Briggs? What is your strength finders? What is your predictive index? You put all of those together and it helps you identify what can you be the best at. There's lots of things that I'm passionate about, but one, what are they? And of those things I'm passionate about, which one can I be the best in the world? And the world doesn't mean the global world, it means the world in your space. So if you're a local based business, then it's best in your local base. If it's Arizona, whatever your world definition is what can you be the best at? And when I do the strength finders with people, I try to help them identify that those are the things that are your strengths. Now, how do you master them? That's what goes in that. What can you be the best at? Pick something that you can master because all your time, energy, and resources and money will go towards be the master of something. And it helps if you're passionate about it, you will become the master. And then the economic engine piece is where do I make my money? And it's a separate circle because where we make our money sometimes isn't what we're passionate about. It just happens to be what people are buying. And can I be the best at it? Well, if you don't have the money, if that's not what people are buying, then you can't be the best at it. So it's really taking the three circles and see where they intersect. So this spot right here in the middle is where you want to go, where the three pieces intersect. Sometimes you can have some items that are in this area between what I can be the best at and people are willing to pay for it, but I don't really like it. It's not fun. So then it can go over here. It's fun and I can make some money at it, but it's just too expensive. It's too costly. It's too time consuming. I can't be the best at it. it takes too much time and money. So what can I do that hits the middle of that? That's what you spend your time looking at. Okay. And then the next piece of this chart is the sandbox. Once I've identified what I'm passionate about, what I can be the best at and I can master, and people will pay me money for it. Now, who am I going to do this with? That's what sandbox is. Where am I going to play? Because business is a game and it's not meant to be played alone, it's meant to be played with others. And so it's finding others that have a similar hedgehog as you. You know, they're passionate about the same things. They're working to be the best at something similar as well, and you can work and play together. Where are you doing this? Geography, segments means groups of people, and you have classes and courses on picking out, identifying your target market and demographics and profiles, customer profiles. Who are these people? That's what happens in the segment. Products and services, the space where I spend a lot of time. I specialize in product development, and service development is part of it, but it's usually products that are out there. And it's having the number one product, which is your engine maker. That's what you can make your money at, and so you won't lose it. Um, but what are some add-on products? I have a couple of companies that just sell one thing. It's really hard to make enough money on one thing. So they need to add two or three. And adding a size or a package, it still is one thing. It's one item packaged four different ways. Okay. But we really need to add another product that is similar so that people have choices. If that particular product doesn't work, well, there's another one that's related that we can also provide for you. So there's one end of the spectrum to not have too few, like one or two products are too few, but 20 products are too many. 11 products are too many. 7 is about the maximum that people can actually make money on and provide resources for. So we spend a lot of time in products and services because it matters. And that's where you can look for cost cutting, efficiencies, mastering 2 or 3 products, not 7. Okay. So you spend time there. The SWOT analysis is the other piece. It's on the far right hand side. Most people know how to do a SWOT analysis because we do SWOTs on all kinds of things. We do it for everything. We do a SWOT, and you can. This particular application, your SWOT is against your BHAG. That's why your BHAG is so important. That if this is your vision and you want clarity on your vision, you're passionate about it, you're can be the best at it. Well, what does the best look like? As we know, with technology changing all the time and AI being out there, that the best changes every day. I thought I was the best. You were the best last week, but now somebody is smarter, brighter, quicker than you. So the best keeps moving and changing. So what do you have to do to keep moving and changing and make money at it at the same time? So the SWOT analysis, the SWOT piece helps you take a look at what strengths do I have? Your passion and know-how is typically what people pick, but what strengths do I have that will get me to my BHAG? And what barriers will get in my way? The typical barriers I run into, the strengths are good. A lot of people have good strengths and they're very quick to know what their strengths are. The barriers, I give you a clue. It's typically around our behaviors because we get distracted a lot and we're not disciplined and we're inconsistent. Those are all human factors that we all have and that we all come with. So it's managing those human behaviors that get in our way. Lack of resources. Well, you all have lack of resources, but it's not that there aren't resources available. It's the businesses knowing what resources they need and then knowing where to ask for help to get those resources. So there's some gap in that area. clearly identifying your vision so you know what resources you really need, not ones you'd like to have. They're different. And then mindset. Mindset has a tendency to get in our way a lot. What we think and what we believe and what's reality out there are many times different. And so it's doing your homework and doing your research constantly to get that mindset adjusted. Your mind has to think like the customer. It's not like you. So it's what customers out there. And remember, I said earlier, our mind plays games on us. So it hides things and it lies to us to make a different, what did someone call it? An alternative reality. So how do you sell to that alternative reality? Those are all barriers that will get in your way. All right. And then I don't spend much time on opportunities and threats because it's those first two items that really take up a lot of people's mental time and their energy. So I just focus on those, the first two first, the strengths and the barriers. And then again, I reviewed, here's what that first page looks like. This is your foundation. It takes you about 4 or 5 months to get this filled in and that you're happy with it and comfortable with the knowledge that you have and the missing pieces. And then you let it be there. You don't go back to it but once a year to see what's changed. Okay. Again, this is your Bible. This is your roadmap for where you're going and how decisions are made inside your company. Okay. Next piece, questions. Any questions? I'll take a breath break, and ask Veronica or Faith if there's anything out there.
There are no questions in the Q&A at this time.
Good. Okay, that means it's communicating clearly. All right, the next piece is the execution part. The first part was all the vision and how the value of the vision and the clarity in your vision. Also, when you get that vision to be clear and the foundation clear, you will know what resources you need. They will pop out and you will start looking and shopping for those and acquiring the resources to grow further. The execution piece is a little different. Execution means, how are we going to do that? How are we going to make this happen? How are we going to make money at it? And how are we going to be the best at it? Right? So the execution part is the back. Many of you work in this back part, and I've had people that start the back first. And I ask, well, where do your metrics come from if you don't know where it is that you're going or what you're supposed to look like or what you're trying to create? And the analogy that I use for that is and I know some people don't always know what this is, but Taj Mahal or the Eiffel Tower, which one are you building? And that's just a metaphor. Which ones are you building? Because the resource, as you know, the Eiffel Tower is tall and it's made out of metal and takes up about a city block. The Taj Mahal is out of marble and it's massive in width and depth and dimension. And there are different things that go on in the inside of both of those buildings. And they took different time frames to build it. And the number of people required to build it. That's why it took a long time. Which one people want to know? They'll help you, but which one they need to know, which one are you building, so that they know how to think and what page to be on and what kind of resources you expect. And then they'll know what to bring to help you build your vision. So I start in the middle of this sheet. Execution, start in the middle, the 1 year spot. People usually are pretty good at coming up with their 1 year. And I have a 3 year in there because some things just take a little longer. Even though you'd like it as a 1 year goal, you know intuitively and instinctively that it's going to take a little longer than that. So what should the 3 year look like in order to make the 1 year happen? And when you start at the top, metrics, metrics, metrics. Metrics are the key to making this work, because the metrics tell you, it's like measuring your weight every morning. It tells you, what difference are you making? How much do you have to grow? How much do you have to slim down? What do you need to do? So the metrics are your guide to the game. What numbers do you have to make your BHAG happen? If you have a financial goal, so I said a revenue goal is usually what people pick. Because from that, how many people do I need to make that revenue happen? Nowadays, I hear people say they want to be $1 million company or a $10 million company. And then when I follow up with, well, how many people does that take? You're going to have a hard time getting that many people to help you. Or what do you need to do to attract that many people to get the revenue that you want to have? And what kind of structure do you need to have to manage that level of people that are required? And then the customers that go with it. And we all know customers are can be very demanding with high expectations and always unrealistic expectations. So what customers do we want to acquire that will help us get the revenue? And then what people do I want or can I get to serve the customers? So those are what goes up in your top part in the shaded orange area of metrics. Key initiative, I cheat and I give you here are the 5 boxes that are typically in there. When you look at the boxes, they're empty. And people usually don't know, they struggle with what goes in those items. So it goes in those 5 areas. Remember, they're for a year. So you should have something around sales, something around marketing, something around people, processes, and technology. And then I give you a little definition. What does that look like? What does it mean? And you see a lot of the classes, a lot of the people selling you something on LinkedIn are all around marketing, customer retention, and customer acquisition. Leads and close, I don't see too much on upselling and expansion, but I think you will see more in the future on customer retention, upselling, and expansion. How do I grow what I already have? Customers are hard to get. So once you get them, what are you going to do with them? And what's the plan look like? Same with people. Where are you going to get the people? What kind of training do they need? What talent are you going to get? And how are you going to do the acquisition of people? Processes are about workflow. How does the work flow through the company? As you add people, how's the work going to change? What are they going to do? And then the software piece, I have a couple other companies that are trying out 5 different program platforms, program management platforms. Well, you can't be doing 5 or 6 or 4. Really do a software audit and see what software do you need. Sometimes small businesses start in Google because it's very affordable and they give you a lot for free to move you to affordable. And then we eventually grow out of Google and move into the Microsoft system. So when you're putting your own business systems and processes together, what technology is the platform that you're choosing to use, and what's the growth of that going to look like? By the way, each of these 5 items have a growth plan that goes with it. Many companies don't put a people growth plan together. They don't put a process growth plan together, and they get stuck in all of these because they don't plan to grow. They plan to budget and meet the budget, but they don't plan to grow. Okay. Quarterly rocks are on the right-hand side. And that's where they say quarterly rocks is what we hear about. So that's 90 days. But I find for small companies being under 100 million in revenue, 90 days is too long. They get the distraction creep in. The cash flow creeps in, market dynamics, market changes, people quit. Things happen in 90 days is just too long. So 45 days is what I've moved to for small companies. And we check in so 45 days is 6 weeks. So you check in every 6 weeks of what are we doing? Again, the goal is to stay focused and get rid of distractions, things you don't need to be doing any longer. If we can get rid of the things you don't need to be doing, that's another human factor. We put things in there to be busy and to fill in places that we don't know how to do it or we don't know what to do. We have an idea, but we really don't know how because no one's ever taught us. So we make stuff up. And many times we make it up wrong or put fillers in there of exercises or activities that really aren't necessary. So how do we streamline it? And Mighty Underdogs came about to help you streamline your activities, give you one-page tools that will help you in each of these areas. You still have to do the work, but how can we cheat and maybe use successes that other people have used that have worked? Okay. And then in summary, this is at the end. In summary, I went through it pretty quickly. This is really a catalyst for success because being a roadmap and you get it put together, your vision, your foundation is clear and concise. Again, it takes time to get that clarity out there because our minds are muddy to begin with, and the distractions creep in. And so we get lost and confused a lot. So leadership is an issue. Leadership being, who is the leader? Are they trained? Have they been trained to be a leader? Do they have experience on leadership? Where did they come from? Most entrepreneurs do not have that training. They learn it by mistake. That's how we learn. And so again, at Mighty Underdogs and through the Small Business Bootcamp, you can get a lot of tips and material and tools to help you through your leadership growth. The systems and structure is how you're going to be set up as a company, not just the legal and tax side, but how are you going to operate, and what systems, platforms are you going to be using to communicate so that things don't fall through the cracks. Over the last 5 years, we've added remote workers. That's never been in our systems and structures in the past. And so we're still feeling that out and still working through what does that look like. And we're moving from, the command and control type of work into teams and networks. And we've been trying to move for about 20 years. But that systems and structures is always a moving target. As each generation comes through, they want things different. And when we have 5 generations age of people working in the environment, the systems and structures that we grew up on, the systems and structures you've been taught in school, the systems and structures that you may not have learned when you were in school because your culture is different. They're all different systems and structures that everybody comes with. And so, how do you, as the owner, the leader, manage all that and make it work effectively and get clarity, keep the clarity in and keep the focus going? Market dynamics, the noise that's out there and trying to get our message out is becoming, is more complicated than ever. And that's going to continue. Market dynamics are things that you cannot control and that you cannot influence. They are things that are just going on out there. A market dynamic is the interest rate going up or down, changes our cash flow position. Market dynamic, the pandemic, whether something is open or closed. We see that in a lot of restaurants. They don't have workers, so they're not open as many hours as they used to. You still got to make the same amount of money. So how are you going to do that? The growth formula helps you get your vision to execution on one page. It's the front and the back. So you can keep that with you at all times. You can share it with people very easily. And you can, when I say share, like a Google share, you all can work on it and see it and use it as a Bible to make your business decisions so that you're consistent. And then I give you some templates and resources where you can get sheets and things to help you, tools to help you. Trying to be like a one-stop shop that if there's something you're looking for, or you have a problem and you're looking for a solution, or something's not working, a lot of times we can't identify that, but we feel something's not working, but we don't know what it is. These tools can sometimes help you with the what is going on, and then you have a tool to help you get through it. And you're smart, bright people, you're all business owners or business leaders, you can do it if you know what to do. So again, Mighty Underdogs is there to help you with that and using the boot camp materials and a lot of the SCORE materials and SBA materials to help you keep going and keep working and getting through it so you stay successful. And that's all I got today. Thank you, everybody, for participating.
Thank
Faith.
you. Thank you so much, Donna. I always just adore your presentations with us. I feel like I always walk away with so many notes and so many great takeaways, as I'm sure our audience does as well. So let's go ahead and we'll turn some time over for the Q&A. Again, as a reminder, I know we have some questions in the Q&A. For those of you who do have questions, please find that Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We do have time for question and answer. So please put those questions in the Q&A box and we'll take some time to address those now. The first question we have, Donna, comes from Victor. What are some of the best strategies for allocating the time and energy to properly identify and monitor key metrics for a business?
Strategies to monitor metrics is what I heard you say.
So let me repeat it.
Yeah.
What are some of the best strategies for allocating the time and energy to properly identify and monitor key metrics for a business?
Well, Google Analytics does a good job at monitoring your metrics. So you pick metrics that are already in your business somewhere. That's the easiest way. And then the strategies to give you the time and the energy and the resources, that's a bigger piece, because the metrics are follow, usually most companies pick at the end, rear view mirror metrics. And so it's taking a look at, remember I said at the beginning that each roadmap is really custom done for you. And because it's who you are. They're built off of you. So when you say what are the best strategies, well, it depends on who you are. For an introvert or what type of leader you are, your strategy is going to be different because it's your approach to problem solving, right? Because that's what you're really doing in business. A strategy is an approach, and the resources and time are all personal preferences and how they want to manage the resources that are in front of you. I mean, the simple resources, I know we always think of we're limited on resources. I'm sitting here looking at Faith going, they have an abundance of resources, more than you could ever even know that you need or want. So you don't have to know necessarily where the resources are, because you can call Faith and she'll tell you. But it's what resources do you need? Well, depending on who you are as a leader and the team that you have around you, depends on what they want to do. So the resources can be different. Because running a business is really time over money. And it's how you're choosing to spend your time will get you your money. So if you want more money, it's being more focused on your time. So the question was a good question, but it had a lot of pieces in it that when they talk about clarity, people aren't always clear on what it is they're trying to do and trying to accomplish. So it's peeling that type of a question apart and putting the math equation together differently so that you know how to use the resources that are out there. So you leverage them. That's your game. That's how you win. I hope that answer gives you some places to look on how to answer that question for yourself.
Excellent. Next question in the Q&A, and one that I love for you, Donna. What are the top 3 practices, books, or information that has helped you develop and maintain a proper mindset?
It doesn't, for me, it doesn't come in books because I'm not a reader, but I'm a visual learner. And so I like looking at history, because we are humans. We repeat. We think we're creative. We think we have a new idea, and we think we're the only ones that have it. But when I watch the old British movies, the time time-stamped movies, like Tudors, or there's lots of them out there. I look at, I've been watching Alexander the Great lately, because there's so many lessons in those, for me, those movies of what happened, how controlling were they? Even when I watch Hitler movies, their leadership, how they choose to lead, how did people follow them, what did they do? So I don't have any. I mean, all the books are good. I mean, books to me are, most of the books that are out there that you get are marketing tools, and so they have a message in them. And a lot of times, chapter 3 is good for one person, chapter 7 is good for another person. It really depends on what it is you're searching for and what you're looking for. So on mindset, I don't get mindset from a book, but that's just me. I get mindset from museums. I get mindset from symphonies and a lot of different places that are cultural, from hiking out in the mountains. It's something that gives me a broader view of what's going on in society, what's going on around me, what has gone on, what decisions and choices have been made in the past by other leaders, perceived leaders, and the consequences that came after that. So, because that's all we're doing is looking at a problem and finding our own solution or creating our own solution. And since we're not unique, I'm probably going to duplicate a great idea that was done in the 1800s, most likely, and then see what the ramifications were in that one. Is that the effect that I want to have, and the outcome that I want to have? And if it's not, then who else do I need to watch, or who else do I need to look at to get the results that I'm trying to get? Because I think that's a lot of mindset issues as well. Is what's the result that you're trying to get, and how do we include others? And when we put diversity in there, I find a lot of times we don't take the time to understand other people, to hear their perspective and let their perspective be part of the kaleidoscope in making the decision to go forward. Because it's a journey. There's not quarterly outcomes. It's a journey that you're trying to build something and grow something. And churches are a good example. I go to a lot of churches all around the world to see, or places of worship, I'll say that, because they're community-based structures that have allowed different generations to add their piece to the puzzle and contribute. So when the BHAG says you think larger than yourself, that's really what we have to do. And that's part of a mindset. What is larger than myself? And mindsets change depending on who, and I think they come from people. Again, I don't know, books, all I say is don't work for me, but a lot of others do. My husband's reading and listening to Pearl Harbor. There were a lot of decisions that were made, arrogance that was in there. We have arrogance everywhere, and you can see the mistakes and the blindsidedness that happens when we let arrogance get in our way. But many times we don't know that it's there. And so it's really being around others to allow ourselves to be open. And what does open look like? So there's another one of those philosophy questions. There's many different ways, depending on who you are as a person, where are you starting with your mindset, and who has a mindset that you like, and what should it look like? And I'm not so certain that, colleges help us with our mindset. So because it moves creativity. They don't enable creativity so much. So creativity is part of mindset too. So when you brush it out, starting in kindergarten, we have all those years of learning that the mindset can only be one mindset, and it has to be mine, the way the school system is set up. So there's some things in our society that alter our mindset.
No.
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And thanks for taking that time, Donna, to answer it. I always love when we get questions like that, because it's one of my questions that I always like to ask, because it's always so interesting to hear what
Because
people
there's not
are.
a single answer. It's
No, exactly.
philosophy.
No, exactly. So thank you so much for the question. And thank you so much for the answer, Donna. And thank you again for your time. That's all the questions we have in the Q&A. So again, I hope you all took away from this session as much as I did. Donna, again, thank you for your time. I know there were questions about today's resources. Again, today's recording, the resources, today's slide deck will all be available as part of our content library. Typically, we get those shared within 24 hours of our session. So please check back on our website to get those recordings and resources available to you so you can go back and dive in to all this amazing material that Donna has made available to you for participating. So again, some great kudos and thank yous in the chat. And I hope that you all return to join us again next Tuesday at 9 a.m. So thank you again for all your time this morning, and we'll see you again next Tuesday, and have a great week and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.